Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to check the Panda RC VT5804 V3 5.8 GHz video transmitter. In this video I'm going to quickly go over its features and specs, measure its output strength, and head outdoors and test it out. First of all, in terms of packaging, inside the box along with the VTX you can find a small card that shows you how to set it up, a joystick connector for connecting the VTX to a camera and or to a flight controller, and a linear antenna with an RPSMA antenna connector. In terms of specs, this very robust VTX supports 40 channels. It has a selectable output strength of 25, 200, 400, 800 and 1000 milliwatts. You can set the frequency and the output strength using this button or using IRC Tram protocol. It features an RPSMA antenna connector and a built-in fan in order to keep it cool, and its supported DC input voltage is between 7 to 28 volts. In addition, it uses a joystick connector with the following layout and features 30.5 by 30.5mm mounting holes. As you could probably guess, due to its structure, this is a pretty heavy VTX and it weighs 28.5 grams. Adding the included linear antenna will bring us to a total of 36.7 grams, and the outer dimensions of the VTX are 35.9 by 28 by 17.3mm. Removing the 4 Phillips screws from the bottom of the VTX will enable you to remove this cover, and as you can see the antenna connector is soldered to the board, so if you'd like to take this board apart, you will need to desolder it. As for setting up the VTX, the easiest option in case you're going to connect it to a Betaflight flight controller is to use IRC Tram protocol. What you need to do is to solder the white wire to a free TX pad on the flight controller and then configure it on Betaflight. In case you're going to use Betaflight 4.0 and above, you also need to configure the VTX table, and I'm going to include down below a JSON file which will help you to quickly set it up. If you'd like to set the VTX manually, first make sure that the IRC Tram protocol wire is not connected, and then you can use this button in order to configure it. Short pressing the button is going to toggle between the 8 available channels. Long pressing it for 2 seconds is going to enable you to toggle between the 5 available bands, and long pressing it for 6 seconds is going to enable you to switch between the 5 output power options. When the left red LED flashes once, it indicates that the VTX is set to 25 milliwatts. When it flashes twice, it is set to 200 milliwatts, 3 times indicates 400 milliwatts, 4 times indicates 800 milliwatts, and 5 times indicates 1000 milliwatts. By the way, it's also worth mentioning that the channel indication is red when the VTX is upside down. Now let's measure the output strength of the VTX. When it is set to 25 milliwatts, I'm getting about 50 milliwatts and the power consumption is 2 watts. After 2 minutes, I'm still getting about 50 milliwatts and its internal temperature is about 52 degrees Celsius. When the VTX is set to 200 milliwatts, I'm getting about 265 milliwatts and the power consumption is 3 watts. And after 2 minutes, I'm still getting about 265 milliwatts and the internal temperature of the VTX is 53.61 degrees Celsius. On 400 milliwatts, I'm getting about 520 milliwatts and the power consumption is about 4 watts. After 2 minutes, I'm getting about 500 milliwatts and the internal temperature of the VTX is about 59 degrees Celsius. On 800 milliwatts, I'm getting about 950 milliwatts and the power consumption is about 5 watts. After 2 minutes, I'm getting about 920 milliwatts and the internal temperature of the VTX is about 63 degrees Celsius. Finally, when the VTX is set to 1 watt, I'm getting about 1.15 watt and the power consumption is 5 watts. After 5 minutes, yes, 5 minutes on the bench, I'm still getting well over 1 watt and the internal temperature of the VTX is about 70 degrees Celsius. So as you could just see, the built-in fan is really effective and it's going to help to keep the temperature of the VTX down and the output power consistent, which is really important when placing it inside a fuselage of an airplane, which is its main purpose. The next thing that I've done is to head outdoors and test the Panda RC VT5804 VTX using my usual setup, and as you are about to see, even when the VTX was set to 25 milliwatts, I could get really far. So overall, as far as I can tell, if you are looking for a powerful and robust 5.8 GHz video transmitter for your long-range RC airplane or maybe for your quadcopter setup, you should definitely check out this VTX. I'm going to wrap up this video with some flight footage, so I hope you will enjoy the rest of this video, and of course, if you have any questions about this VTX, feel free to ask them in the comment section down below. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up if you like this video, and consider subscribing to my channel and hitting the notifications bell if you're not already subscribed. See you on my next videos, and goodbye.
When you say I'm the one, you're so easy to love. You're easy to love. Yeah, you're so easy to love. I can